customers have always been important. That's why, after serving over 500,000 customers, we're proud to have a 4.9-star average rating out of 5 on our online reviews. Check them out for yourself and find out more at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
Victor's 1959 Cafe on Grand Avenue is a little piece of Cuba right in South Minneapolis. All of your Cuban favorites are there, like the mango pancakes, sandwich cubano, eggs Havana, Cuban pork barbecue sandwich, and more. Victor's has their dining room open for seating with no reservations required. Plus, they still do takeout and delivery. So have a taste of authentic Cuban cuisine at Victor's 1959 Cafe, located off of 38th and Grand in South Minneapolis. More at victors1959cafe.com.
ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual. My name is Greg Bakken, and I got my Facebook all set up. Folks, I'm discombobulated today, okay? And I'm going to explain why. Last night, being a paranormal investigator, I went to a location, and we were up all night doing our paranormal thing, and it was a lot of fun. But boy, you know, you really, when you're up all night, you're trying to reach out to spirit, you're trying to do what you need to do that whole paranormal thing, you really have to watch everything afterwards, because being up for about 24 hours really takes a toll on you. And when you're slightly older now, you know, not much, but you know, you're a little bit older, obviously that really has quite the effect on some people. And me, obviously. So we're going to, I would like to say we're going to start again, but we really can't. So I'm just going to kind of try to salvage the program. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that with my guests today, but we're certainly going to try. You know, one of the most amazing places that I've been has to be Gettysburg. I went there this last July, and, you know, I've never encountered a place like it before. I am talking about just not only the paranormal aspect, but the beauty and tragedy of the town itself. It is unbelievable. And this experience has stayed with me ever since I went last July. I've spoken about it a little bit on the show here, but I wanted to really talk about it with the people who are with me. And those people, even though I like to joke with them, they very much made a great impression on me, as well as being a paranormal investigator, but also enjoying all of the historic aspects of it. So I brought my two friends on today, and we experienced a lot together at Gettysburg. Christy Ayers is a paranormal investigator and filmmaker, and Aaron Blackburn is lead investigator for Way Out West Paranormal out in Wyoming. Today we're going to talk about our experiences. Christy and Aaron, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Hi.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. As you could tell from the start of what I did, this is going to be, you know, pretty much a perfect show. So it's going to be great to have you all on with me.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Before we get started, I'd also like to invite all of our listeners to join into the conversation. You could do so to call in, ask a question to any of us about our Gettysburg stories, or share your Gettysburg adventure. If you want to do so live on the air, call in 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. You can email us a comment or a question. The email address for the station is comment@am950radio. AM950radio.com. We are live on AM 950 Radio, but also streaming video on the following Facebook pages. You can watch us on AM 950, Things Network, Paranormal United Network, and MN Ghostbox. Feel free to leave comments there for any of us. And we're going to get started here. First of all, up until July of last year, I knew neither of you, and we had this amazing experience in Gettysburg, which was just an outstanding moment. First of all, I just want to go back to why we were all there to begin with. And Aaron, if I don't mean to put you on the spot, but Aaron, could you let us all know what we were doing? It was Dinner with a Ghost. We were at Air Ridge. Could you let us know what Dinner with a Ghost is, please?
Sure. Dinner with a Ghost is a great experience. John Cushman has set that up. He's done it across the country. If anyone gets a chance, they need to go check it out anywhere he is. So Dinner with a Ghost, they set up this table. They have a ghost table at the end. You get fed a 3-course meal. The ghost gets the same meal that you do. After the meal or during the meal, talk about experiences at that place that they're at. And after the meal, then you investigate the place you are. We happen to be at Air Ridge in Gettysburg. And
the point of the dinner for the ghost having their own spot at the table, Christy, why is that?
Well, they have the ghost set up because they want, I guess the idea behind it is more so that just because they've passed on doesn't mean they're not still people, and maybe giving them a chance to interact and have a dinner with everybody, makes them feel more at home, makes them feel more comfortable. It really kind of opens the door to say, hey, you know what? We know you're still here and you're still part of everything we do, and we still want to talk with you. And what better way to do that over food?
Now, I came slightly later to the party, so to speak. Was there more than one Dinner with a Ghost there that week, and I only came to one of them, or was there only one? I'm forgetting. Christy, what do you remember?
Yeah, there was, I think we did 2 nights. Yes, we did 2 nights of Dinner with a Ghost. I did so much that weekend that I'm struggling a bit to remember everything that I did. But yeah, the first night that I was there, myself and my friend Ryan did a live investigation at the inn. Yeah. And then we had 2 nights of Dinner with a Ghost. And every night, I think, I was out with Aaron and then you on the 3rd night. I think we slept like 3 or 4 hours a night every night we were there.
I think it was 3 nights. I think we did Dinner with a Ghost for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Oh, wow. That's right, because it was the anniversary. I mean, it was the anniversary of the actual dates of the battle, right?
Right.
Yes.
See, there's so much going on, you just can't remember how much you do.
I know. We did a lot. We did a lot of stuff. But sleeping was not one of them.
Well, and one of the things I remember very vividly, that's why I thought there was more than one, was simply because there was, you all were talking about that, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the reactions that we got from the ghost at dinner, and why there's a reaction, because that area where they set up the dinner for the ghost is rigged, so to speak, with all sorts of different paranormal equipment to go off if anything moves over there, if there's anything.
Yes.
And so I think that night in particular, there was a lot of responses. And I don't know if it was more or less than any other night, but I remember that people, like, I think, Christy, you were one of them. I was like, okay, yeah, and we're getting a lot of, like, doorbell chimes tonight or something, you know?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's crazy because I've done the Dinner with a Ghost with them in several places. And that night seemed to be, the night you were there did seem to be a lot more, just the whole Gettysburg experience. Like, it was nonstop. Their Ovilus just, like, I wanted them to shut it off because it just would not stop.
Yeah, that first night, was so, it was nonstop.
I remember that one of the words, and folks, Ovilus is, for those that maybe not remember or know, Ovilus is a device that is, in theory, spirit can take a word from a dictionary and put it on a screen, and the hopes is that it's somewhat relative to either a question or what we're talking about or something to do with who we're trying to communicate with. And I remember it wasn't Reverend, wasn't that coming through quite a bit on the Ovilus? Minneapolis all nights?
Yes. Yep. And the Reverend actually is, I believe it's Reverend Snow, which is tied to the Octagon Mansion, which is the location they own.
Yes.
And so I've kind of made the thought that, I think the Reverend may be just kind of hanging out for dinner all the time, and they serve a good whiskey. So I think maybe Reverend Snow made it to Gettysburg this year.
A good whiskey that, if I recall correctly, none of us had when we were doing it. This is news to me, but that's good. Over on the Minnesota Ghost Box page, Bruce puts down a comment. Was it a single table or individual tables? And the ghost was at one of the table. It's a good question because we know it so well, right? That we are just like, oh yeah, this is what happened. But it's a long table and what did they have? About 30 people or something? It was immense, the amount of people that they had at this thing.
Yeah. I want to say there's usually like 24, anywhere between 24 and 30. It just depends on the location in the room that they have. I know that some of the locations they looked at, they possibly thought of maybe breaking up the tables and having more than just one, but I think they prefer to have it just one big table. So it's more like a community thing.
It is, and this was packed, and to the point that we don't sit at the tables, us who are working it. We are there to be called upon for any sort of, color commentary, so to speak, of what's going on. But then the ghost is at the head of the table, just like the guest of honor is how that is set up. It is a very unique situation, and once, like we talked about, and then you had, Christy, did you have your doll? Did you have your doll up there?
Yes, Haunted Charlie was sitting
Haunted
up
Charlie.
there.
That's right. And
Yep.
we were getting intelligent responses from him, weren't we?
Yep. Well, it's kind of sad because we'll be in Virginia at Dinner with a Ghost again coming this weekend with the Ray Chasers, and Charlie will not be with us. However, I will have the radium doll, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting how that's going to work, and I think that I don't know. It was very interesting, and overall, we had, at least for the night I was there, like Aaron said, there was 3 nights of the actual event. I only was able to go for the Friday night of it, or whatever night it was, and there was an investigation afterwards, and that investigation, if I recall correctly, had quite a lot of responses. It was an active night for sure.
Yes. I'm trying to remember. Were you there the night there was that real loud boom that they heard inside, but we didn't hear it outside?
Yep, the cannon that was in the room that we were in. And why don't we do this? We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation about very haunted Gettysburg with my guests, paranormal investigators Chrissy Ayers and Aaron Blackburn. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
I'm Candy Brothel, publisher of the Twin Cities edition of Natural Awakenings magazine and host of Green Tea Conversations, a news show for people who are on a journey to take responsibility for their health and play a more active role in their family's well-being. Join me every Sunday at 10 a.m. as I interview local experts who share the latest in natural holistic approaches in a fun and informative way. So grab a cup of tea and join the conversation as we awaken to natural health. Visit us at naturaltwincities.com.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we got our wood stove to lower our carbon footprint and to harvest our own renewable energy. We discovered more. Fire offers both stillness and engagement. It connects us to the basic and often overlooked moments that enrich our lives. It opens the mind to music, reading, and being with those you love. We gather our friends, our family, and our minds around the fire.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, it is our job to find a place for fire that works in your life. We have a diverse selection of fireplace products. Clean wood burning, convenient gas burning, and easy to install electric stoves and fireplaces for inside your home or outdoors too.
Fire does more than offer comfort from the cold. Fire warms the heart. At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, there are so many ways to discover your place for fire, with over 35 working indoor and outdoor fireplaces on display at the corner of East Franklin Avenue and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Hi, this is Kirk Duckwall with Bricks Real Estate and the Twin Cities Real Estate Show here on AM 950. With home prices at all-time highs, do you want to downsize but don't know where to start? With the fast-changing market, I can help with timing, pricing strategy, home preparation, and much more. Take the worry of selling away and give me a call today at 651-303-0019. I've helped many AM 950 listeners sell their houses, and I can help you too.
Have you heard about the District Edina? Well, if you haven't, you're in for a treat. The District Edina is the Twin Cities' newest and most exciting destination for all things home design and remodeling. If you're looking for flooring or window treatments, furnishings, a builder to handle a remodel or an addition, kitchen or bath work, or even original fine art, you will find it at the District Edina. The District Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South, and online at, wait for it, thedistrictedina.com.
And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you for joining us today. Our guests today are paranormal investigators Christy Ayers and Aaron Blackburn, as we talk about the very haunted and very beautiful Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I want to first start with a couple comments. I got a comment through email. Don't forget, folks, if you want to send us an email comment, you could do so. The station email address is comment@am950radio.com, and it's from a certain John B. Cushman. Actually through, it's actually, I think through Deb.
Nice.
And he says, I heard you almost got hit on the battlefield. And folks, this is the stuff you have to be careful of when you put your life in the hands of friends and you go to the battlefield and stuff. No, John, we did not almost get hit on the battlefield. We almost got hit twice by a madman in a van. Because first in the battlefield, while Christy and I were walking through it, doing research, historic research, stuff that could maybe benefit future generations, all of a sudden this madman in a van comes flying out of nowhere on the battlefield and nearly hits us. And then
I think it was a Tahoe, to be exact.
Is that what it is? I don't know. It's a blur. It's a blur.
Sure it was a Tahoe.
It was horrible, and I still have nightmares about it. And then just walking through, I don't know how this happened, just Whiteville, West Virginia, walking just down the street, and the same van or Tahoe or whatever comes flying out of nowhere and nearly hits us again. So, we are talking about Gettysburg today. We talked about Dinner with a Ghost, and yes, that reminds me. That comment reminds me not to talk about Dinner with the Ghost any longer, and we're going to move on to. Seriously, though, we had another comment. Someone asked me where in West Virginia was it, and Aaron rightly pointed out it's Whiteville at the Octagon Mansion. I don't know if there's any tickets left though, Christy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any left for this weekend, but you can go follow the Octagon Mansion and Dinner with a Ghost, and their events sell out pretty quick. So if you want to go, just look for them and get them when you can.
So, and then also real fast about Dinner with a Ghost. I mean, before COVID, they were certainly traveling around the country also, and hopefully that this comes up again and this starts happening, because honestly, if you hear about it in your area and if you do follow Dinner with the Ghost, you're going to know exactly where they're going to be. It's worth your time to do so. Now, moving on, for both of you, I can't remember, this trip to Gettysburg, was Christy, was this your first?
No, I'd been to Gettysburg before. I think it was actually like my second time there.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and then also, and Aaron, what about you? Was this your first?
It was my first. John, at one of his Dinner with the Ghost, I did two of them with. One is a participant, one is like helping him. He said if you ever get the chance to come to Gettysburg, do, and I had the chance, and it was phenomenal.
So the battlefields, what was your first impression of the battlefields when you went into it?
My first impression is they are supercharged. Like when you get on those fields, you can just feel the battle, and like you can feel everything that's there.
Right. Now when I went with both of you, it was around 2:30 in the morning. But your first time going, was it at night also, or was it during the day, Aaron?
My first time going was actually at night, and then the next day we went during the day.
And I mean, I'm just going to say for myself that is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen was the battlefield at night. It stays with me. The calmness, the silhouettes of the trees, because there was a brightness. It was also very, very foggy, very misty that night. It was raining. I've never experienced anything like it.
Yeah, the night that you went, that third night that we went out there, it rained, and you could hear the rain dropping down through the leaves. The night before that, it was dead calm. There was nothing. I think Christy and I both mentioned at one point, we're sitting by a monument asking some questions, doing some EVP stuff, that we both felt that like people were going to start walking out of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I explained it, I think, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said, but it was like, it felt like complete chaos in a completely calm place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but that's how it feels.
It is, and the one image that I bore everybody with every time I talk about it, but I can't get over, is when we get into the battlefields, when we first arrive and you park the car, Aaron, and we get out of it, and there is literally a fog that looked to me ultimately like maybe comes up to like my shin, possibly my knee, and it literally follows the road towards us, and next thing you know, we are completely immersed in fog. And I've never experienced anything like that in my life. It was it's freaky, but it's also so cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was also silent too, right? I mean, there wasn't any sounds of really anything as far as I could remember, Christy. It was just very, very quiet.
It was very quiet. And that's the thing about it is that's why I think you can feel the energy, that chaotic energy, but there is nobody around. I mean, for miles, there's no cars, no people, you're isolated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, we mentioned monuments, and before I went, hold on. Before I went to Gettysburg, if someone said there's monuments at the Gettysburg battlefields, maybe I'd think a statue or something for the uninformed like myself. But the thing is, the Gettysburg battlefield, there are, I don't know the exact number, but there's well over 1,100, 1,200, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, I don't expect you two to know necessarily, but I mean, it's an incredible amount. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So many.
And they're all...
The ones that got me were like when I think I was when I was walking with you, Greg, is like the woods. Sometimes there's just randomly one or two or three, like randomly in the woods where just some person died right there.
Yes.
Yes. And it was just weird. Like, why is this monument? Like, you have to walk 10 feet into the woods or something,
It is. And also the various sizes and the various times afterwards, when I got back home, I started looking up when these monuments were made, because they weren't all done at the same time. They were done over, the course of, probably starting about 3 years or something after the battle to within, I think there's still a couple that were done in the 21st century, which is, just amazing. And they're all in their own way so beautiful, just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't even know if there's not really a question for that, but I mean, you both, I mean, it's just, everywhere you go, there was something, and it was utterly amazing.
And you had mentioned it, the size of them, everything from like just a small marker up to the big one with the staircase in it, but
yes,
which is probably the main one. But I mean, there's ones just dotting the battlefield where it's like man size, or it's a
absolutely
6 foot wide by 8 foot high, and just it's crazy.
It is crazy, and I don't know. I think we could talk more about these, a little bit later in the show. I just still am in awe about that. It's nothing paranormal. It's just beautiful, and it just adds to what people believe of this battlefield. Why don't we do this, though? Let's take another break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation about Gettysburg with my guests, paranormal investigators, Christy and Aaron. You are listening to Ghost Box on AM 950.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
This is New Beginnings, hosted by award-winning broadcaster and speaker Freddie Bell.
Freddie, this generation of the baby boomers, people are living longer, so the baby boomers are taking care of elderly parents.
Let's talk about your health, and specifically, let's talk about Medicare. Our show features the concerns of America's 78 million baby boomers in employment, finance, health and nutrition, and even entertainment.
Join us for New Beginnings, Saturday mornings at 11, brought to you in part by Vision Loss Resources.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950 for Snap Construction again. Does your home feel colder than it should with the furnace constantly running? Or do certain rooms always feel colder than the rest of the house? Those are signs the attic in your home may need an insulation upgrade. Snap Construction can help by providing a free energy audit for your home's insulation. The average cost of getting new insulation can cost much less than a new furnace. Plus, Snap Construction is a BPI certified installer. That means if you use Snap for your next insulation project, you qualify for up to $650 in total rebates from your energy provider. After my free inspection, my insulation upgrade was completed within a few weeks and the rebate check was in the mail. Snap to it and reduce your heating bill this winter with Snap Construction. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP for your free energy audit when you mention AM 950. Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor and insulation company in the metro.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go, so making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my Sienna's oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my Sienna was winter ready. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com to use their super easy Toyota service scheduler to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Now, more than ever, we are being faced daily with the topic of human mortality, and for many people, estate planning has been top of mind. Getting your estate planning done now can be easy and cost-effective. Schroman Law offers virtual options for initial consultations so that new clients can safely initiate the process. With many facing uncertain financial situations, Schroman Law also offers affordable fees for legal documents. Learn more at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
And on our last show, we had Ernie and Denise Pack on from Pac-Man Paranormal talking about their work, along with others, to save Waverly Hills. I urge everybody to seek out that episode from January 16th and listen to what's going on at Waverly Hills. It's super important. It's super important to support them in their endeavor. All their information is out there. Go to SaveWaverlyHills.com, SaveWaverlyHills.com, and sign the petition. And please consider making a donation via their GoFundMe page there. Please also share out everywhere that you can. SaveWaverlyHills.com. You know, it's one of those paranormal locations that, you know, if it's gone, it's gone, and that very much could be a possibility. Also, don't forget that Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Facebook pages Things Network, Paranormal United Network, and MN Ghost Box, I do a live Spirit Box session. This is an opportunity to not only see some paranormal gear at work, but the possibility to reach out to your loved ones who have passed. This is a very positive program, and I hope you join us tonight to reach out to spirits. We've had some incredible interactions over the last couple weeks. It's just been actually crazy. Also, if you miss Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken Live, AM 950 replays these episodes Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can listen anytime by going to Spotify or iTunes. After listening, please leave a positive review for my show. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Our guests today are paranormal investigators, Christy and Aaron, as we talk about the very haunted Gettysburg. And let's start with this. Raise your hand if you've ever been frightened by a statue before. Who can raise their hand by being scared by an inanimate object like that? Christy,
Aaron.
Aaron.
Pretty sure I'm the only one raising my hand.
Okay. It was a random question. I didn't really know. So, I think it's important to come clean on this, Aaron, just for your own sake. I know you've been holding this in for since July, and but. So what was
that?
Yeah, what was scary that night? What was going on? Let me set the scene. I wasn't there, but you were at the battlefields, right, of Gettysburg.
We were at the battlefields. Yes.
Okay.
It was raining. It was foggy when it rains, as you stated.
So we're setting it up with a bunch of reasons why there's excuses. Okay, cool.
So, like I said, the statues are man-size, and there is one that happens to look like a man. As you turn a corner, you go up a hill. But on the other side, it's kind of more flat where the road would crest. But they do have a statue at the end of that road, and as you climb the hill, you start to see more and more of it. So here, as you climb the hill, you think something is appearing. And when it's rainy and foggy, you just don't know.
Sure.
It's all of a sudden just right there.
And I believe at that time we were only driving with the parking lights on,
which is always a smart thing to do. Yeah.
There's reasons for that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I understand. The way I understand it, full headlights make the statues come to life, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to be careful with these things.
Yes, that's a true story.
Oh, and of course, someone had to post that video the other day. There were a lot of words that can't be said on this radio show being said, just because I was a little freaked out.
There is I remember, I wasn't there, but from the video, I remember some whimpering. But, to be fair, for when we're doing these things, these investigations and whatnot, we get into the moment, right? Even driving, and you're being careful driving and everything, and you're not, all honesty, like we said, there are well over 1,000 of these monuments, and they kind of just pop up all over the place. And it's hard to, on honesty, like when you're expecting to see something, you don't know what's going to happen. That happens, and that's just the reality of it, and it's just unfortunate that it was caught on video.
Yeah,
I don't think that's unfortunate. That is not unfortunate that it was caught on video.
Okay, so let's.
I saw some other videos that were taken and some other audio, but I didn't know that one was caught on video until just the other day myself.
I'm a jerk.
Are you talking about the audio of my stomach? Because that was a big problem.
That night, I believe all of our stomachs were wanting to talk.
Yeah, well, that night, my stomach was like a fountain of sound, and I didn't know either of you. I never met you two before, and here I am, first impressions, and it's just like, what is he going to explode? Are we in a real life version of Alien? What's going to come out of this guy's stomach, because it's nonstop. And it was embarrassing, but I guess that's what Gettysburg does. It brings out the weirdness in all of us, perhaps. I don't know.
Maybe.
So, Christy,
Yes.
Just to talk a little bit about, I don't know, the paranormal. Was there a moment during that trip that really stands out as really, I don't want to say really paranormal because that's a silly way of saying, but that really sticks in your mind of some sort of communication, perhaps?
Yeah. So and it's actually it's all recorded live. I mean, you can see it on my Facebook too. But the first night that I was there, it was just me and Ryan. And Ryan was filming me at the inn, and down in the inn there's like a bar area because it's like a bar and a restaurant and whatever. And so I had taken a REM pod because they said there's like this waitress station, and so I had put a REM pod there because they said there's a lot of activity and they see shadow figures and whatever. And so at one point I put the REM pod there, and as I'm standing there, the REM pod started going off, and I thought, well, maybe it's me. So I came out around the bar, and as I walked around the bar, the lights of the REM pod lit up following me as I went. And I was just like, that's pretty crazy. So that was a pretty awesome thing because I've never seen that happen. So
I remember you talking about that. That is, and seeing that actually. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Aaron, what about you?
I would say it was the night you were there. You and a group were doing some stuff in the dining room. We had come back in. I set a millimeter on the bar, I believe the opposite end of where Christy had hers, to the entrance to that dining room. You had walked out and said, well, just before you came out, the millimeter started going up. It went up to about 3.5 slowly, and then it went back down. And you walked out and said, it feels like it has left the room. And I was like, this just went up like it came out of the dining room past the bar.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Because what ended up happening was that night, I went into a different room just to try to see if I could get something because it seemed like a little bit of a struggle in some areas for whatever reason. That's how it works. And then the room that we kind of migrated into ended up starting to get really, really active. And that was one of my favorite moments was the REM pod for me, and I have it on video, was going crazy, absolutely crazy, where it's kind of like all the lights are going. It was like squealing because it was going so much. And I'm like, we're all excited about it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm concerned because I'm afraid that this is just maybe batteries going bad or something going bad with the REM pod. So I had like 3 in the room, and I'm like, okay, Spirit, I am going to turn this off. And I turned it off. I said, if you still want to communicate with me, can you turn on this one? And I point to the one that's, just about maybe 6 feet away. And as I did that, that one came on. And that was really neat that you could get that sort of intelligent response, just like Christy did and like you did, Aaron, to get like you are getting some real information about where Spirit is there. And also there's another one, and I can't say what it said, but I was because there's a dining room and there's a room in the back there, and I was just by myself, and it's about as close to provocation as I will get. I do not believe in provocation, but I was with myself with a spirit box and a REM pod, and I said, hey, I'm from Minnesota, and in Air Ridge was also once a Confederate headquarters, and I said, I don't know how, but I just walked in here from Minnesota, and I don't, you have very lacked security. I don't know how I got in here. And through the spirit box, it swore at me, something and then the REM pod went crazy. So that was like, okay, well, I must have touched a nerve there or something. That was kind of fun. But no one told me.
I didn't even know that happened. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. But no one told me that the event was over. I was in there. I thought we're still like doing stuff. And then someone comes in and they're like, what are you still doing here? And I'm like, well, I'm part of this event, I said. And they're just like, it's done. What? Everyone's leaving. Okay, I guess so. That cannonball too, though, whatever that was pretty cool too. That you talked about earlier, Christy, the one that we don't know. And I mean, my first instinct was that, well, it's like a semi truck or something going. But were you outside at that time?
I was outside, and that was the thing. When I came in, everyone's like, "Oh, did you hear that?" I had no clue what anybody was talking about. So if it was a semi or a truck or something from outside, I would have known exactly, it's from as loud as what y'all, from what I understood, it shook the building. We didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing. No idea it even happened.
We were going crazy in that room because we were like, what is that? What is that? And we also knew that night there was thunderstorms, but there wasn't storms at that time, right, Christy?
No, when we were out there and there was no lightning, no thunder, nothing. And that's, I remember trying to contemplate was, could it have been, and really trying to think, but nothing, just nothing. I feel like that would have been very apparent to us if it would have happened in a spot where we could hear it, but not a thing.
Do you two remember if anyone heard that boom outside of that dining room?
I don't believe anyone did.
It was only in that room.
I was outside as well that night. So
I think it was only the people in the dining room.
That was crazy. I don't want to take up all the show to talk about where I also stayed, that cottage I stayed in that was built in 1853 and is probably one of the most active places I've ever been in my life. It was, it was all these things and that energy all around Gettysburg was absolutely incredible. I'm just still in awe about it. Aaron, do you have plans to go back?
Oh yeah, we're doing that. Hopefully this year. I've been in contact with John and Debbie to let them know that we are interested and that we would love to come join them again.
That'd be great. And obviously, Christy just goes wherever the stuff is. So wherever the wind. Yeah, I was just gonna say it. Yeah. But I didn't know if that sounded right. So I just was like, I'm gonna stay away from that. But yeah, absolutely. It's something else. Why don't we do this? Let's take our final break. When we come back, we're going to finish our conversation about Gettysburg. We're going to talk about some other stuff. We're going to finish our conversations with paranormal investigators Christy and Aaron. You are listening to Ghost Box Radio on AM 950. We'll be back.
This is Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio. Now my show will be on Saturdays from 10 to 11 and replayed on Sundays from 1 to 2. You will get to the best of Ellie 2.0 with talking about idealism with guests who come in and who are idealistic, who are trying to change the world, and you will get me, Super Idealist. Tune in. We can't wait to hear from you, and you'll hear from me Saturdays from 10 to 11.
Hi, this is Ken Hageland, host of Living Healthy and Aging Well, inviting you to listen to our live call-in talk show airing every Saturday from noon to 1, where we talk about your health and your life and provide insights you need to know to live and age well. Each week we talk with guests who provide answers to important questions regarding health care, elder care, end-of-life care, and self-care for caregivers, and help you and your loved ones plan for the future and enjoy your highest quality of life today. Please join us every Saturday from noon to 1 on AM 950 for Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hey everybody, this is Gregory Rich, founder of Habitation Furnishing and Design and host of Drink in the Style. Say, I'm willing to bet that you're hearing this in your car and there's a good chance that you're heading home. If that's the case, let me ask you, are you looking forward to getting there? Is your home a place that energizes? Well, if it isn't, it might be time for a furnishings refresh. Think about it. We've all spent a lot of time at home over the past couple of years, and maybe you need more than just a new sofa. Why not have a skilled, professional, tasteful interior designer from Habitation help you create a space that is exceptional? Whether it's your family room, living room, bedroom, or even home workspace, Habitation can help you create an environment that is exactly what you've always wanted. Habitation Furnishing and Design, located at the District Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South, and online at habitationdesign.com.
Here's pet trendologist Charlotte Reed and Dr. Michael Fleck with what's coming up this weekend on the Pet Buzz.
Valentine's Day dog gifts, knowing if your dog loves you, and of course, the Super Bowl. That's going to be an exciting game. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Enhancing the bond between pets and their people. We're the Pet Buzz.
Listen to the Pet Buzz every Sunday at 11 on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
You know how it is with vacuum cleaners. You buy them, you break them, then you throw them away, right? Well, not necessarily. Often, fixing your vacuum can be cheaper than replacing it. Ever heard of A1 Vacuum in Roseville? They offer free estimates. So if you wish your vacuum worked like new again, drop by. A1 Vacuum is ready to help clean up your vacuum cleaner act. Find us at a-1vacuum.com or call 651-222-6316.
And next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, Char Savoy will be guest hosting the show for a couple weeks while I'm out doing some paranormal events in West Virginia and Kansas. Next week, her guest is going to be paranormal investigator, founder of Potographs for Pooches, author and lecturer Tim Miley. And I've had Tim on some of my other shows before, and it's just an outstanding conversation. So please make sure that you join in next week, and please give a warm welcome to Char when she's on, and ask a lot of good questions. For our final segment, we return to our guests today, paranormal investigators Christy Ayers and Aaron Blackburn, as we talk about the very haunted Gettysburg. And before we get too deep into stuff, Aaron, could you quickly tell us about your paranormal group?
Yeah, we're just a small paranormal group. We started, probably about 6 months before we've been to Gettysburg. My wife and I have always been interested, and we did some stuff before that. So we started a group. Going to be getting some more members here soon and hopefully doing a lot more stuff. We're also working on doing some ghost tours in our town, and should be a good time.
It will be, and I'm hoping to be able to come out and visit you all sometime soon this year. That'd be great.
We would love to have you out this way.
And Christy, you are a filmmaker and co-founder and producer at Devil Vision Media. What is Devil Vision Media?
Basically, we do like a lot of live production. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I asked the question. My goodness.
I know. Are you trying to kill me? No. No, we do a lot of live production. Joe is like our main guy, and he does some pretty amazing stuff with live TV, and we use the night vision a lot. Of course, we only use dead lights. So we use those. And then Ryan is one of our camera guys who is phenomenal, and Jaden, who does all our graphics and things like that. So they're a great team, and people will ask us to come and film whatever. And it's not always necessarily paranormal. So I do a lot of film outside of paranormal as well. So, but it's a lot of fun. We get to do a lot of stuff other people don't get to. So.
And so going to our chat, Victoria on the MN Ghostbox page says that I've always wanted to visit Gettysburg. I have a relative who fought in the Civil War, but he was at the siege at Vicksburg at the time, which I love. I love those connections. Those are great. Lauren asks us, and since I know that, Aaron, you hadn't been out there, I hadn't been out there, maybe Christy, have you ever investigated the battlefields in Virginia?
Battlefields in Virginia. Well, I mean, just Gettysburg.
which is in Pennsylvania, just so we're clear.
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't done anything in Virginia, so those are the only battlefields.
Except the Octagon Mansion in West Virginia, that you've also created a mural there, which is very nice.
Yes.
And real fast, before anything else, before I forget, Christy, could you talk about the event that you're going to have the following week that you're going to have with Linda and Steph?
Yes. So on the 19th, we are having a charity event. All proceeds go to the Mother's Refuge, which is in Kansas City, Kansas, and it goes to help young women who have gotten pregnant for whatever means, and they take care of them. They get them through school, they get them jobs, but it will be at the McIntyre Villa. There's several different tickets you can purchase, whether it's the $20 for a tour, $100. I think it's $60 for just the investigation. Then I think it's $100 for the overnight. But every last dime of this will go to the Mother's Refuge. It's an amazing place. There are still tickets available. If you don't want to come, please buy a ticket anyway, just to make the donation. So. It's a good deal.
And once again, there is no profit being made from this. Everything is going towards the charity. So yes,
including any money that I have spent out of my pocket, I am not replacing that either.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And that's I'm going to be there also, checking out and doing some investigating with y'all. So that's going to be fun. I'm doing the tour of America, I guess, is what that is going to be, and that's exciting. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I had Michael on the MN Ghost Box page, who is a Bigfoot hunter. He said in 2016 he spent a night at a native grave site on a Bigfoot hunt. Very creepy. Yes, I mean that's all these places that have those energies. I mean, and like we've been talking about, those battlefields really have quite the energy to it. Aaron, if you could put one word to the energy of those battlefields, what would you say?
I believe I already said it, and it is supercharged. I believe that, if I remember right, it's the bloodiest battle of the Civil War and deadliest.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell. I just did get a message from Debbie, and she says that you keep saying West Virginia, but they are in Westville, Virginia.
They are in Virginia. I don't know where I'm going.
Virginia.
So yeah.
There you go.
You know what?
we got to fix. But supercharged would be that word.
I just go to where I'm told, and that is where it is. So I've been saying West Virginia only since July. So that's good. That is great. And I love to be corrected live on the air. So this was even better. So thank you for that, Deb. I really appreciate it.
I wish she would have posted it to you, but she sent it to me. I'm sorry.
Because she knew that if she posted to me, it wouldn't have made it on the show. So, she knows.
I love her. I love her to death.
They are both great people. They're amazing.
I do want to also say, because we've been talking about the battlefields quite a bit, but it's also worth mentioning that the town itself is, once again, an amazing place. And what I love about it, I've been to a lot of these towns that have that spirit attachment, such as like Deadwood. But this is a living, breathing town where Deadwood is kind of a touristy trap, which is fine. But this place is amazing. That's one of my favorite parts of it. Is just walking the streets of Gettysburg. And that's I'm glad you all agree.
My wife is kind of a coffee person, and so one day Christy's like, I know where there's coffee, and we walked, I swear, 20 miles to try to find the coffee for her.
Oh, really?
The thing that really surprised me was like the older houses. They actually have Civil War houses still there.
Yes.
And they do have the brass plaques on the front that says Civil War House, 1863. It's a beautiful town.
Well, and I don't know, Aaron, if you knew this. One of the attendees at the Dinner with Ghosts that I attended talked to Christy and I, and her and her husband was staying at a place in one of those houses, and she invited us over to do an investigation there. So we did do a very little investigation of this location, and not that it yielded a ton of stuff, but there was something, it's just really neat that these are just on the street, all everywhere. They're everywhere, and they have the plaques, and you go in and you just do it. I mean, that was a fun night, Christy, wasn't it?
It was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I heard you guys were doing that. I had to fly out that day. And
That's
I was
right.
kind of bummed.
That's right. Yeah, we kind of just crossed paths a little bit. We only had like a 1.5 day really together, Aaron, right? It wasn't that much time.
Yeah, I would say even a day. But yeah, it was the time on the battlefield makes it worth just being together with people that like the same stuff.
We just
need to all go back this year and stay all the whole time.
Let's do it. We could talk forever about this, and it's a shame that we have to cut this short now. But Christy Ayer is a paranormal investigator, filmmaker, and co-founder and producer at Devil Vision Media. Aaron Blackburn is lead investigator for Way Out West Paranormal. Thank you both so very much for joining me.
Thank you for having
us.
This has been Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on AM 950. Char will be back next week.
Tune in for Philosophy Talk, the program that questions everything.
Except your intelligence.
Coming up, Righteous Rage.
Isn't vengeance kind of a bad thing?
Yeah, but anger can be a force for justice, and some things deserve